This is much
back
better.
in the room.
Yes, we're in the room. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
So it's a guest episode, so let's get straight into it. Let's go to the place where the distractions are landmarks and the detours are on the main roads. Welcome to ADHDville.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Cracking. It's a guest episode.
Guest in the room. Guest episode, yes it is. Ha ha ha.
That is a nice addition. Having the voiceover singing is it's extra special. Special.
Come on, Paul.
Yes. Hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined ADH and the D crawling towards a bunch of years ago.
And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with the combined poo-poo platter in 2013. And we have our guest, Tina, your ADHD bestie.
Woohoo!
Welcome.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do before we kick off is I think we're all going to get in the I don't know whether you know, but we start the episode as always here in the King's Agitated Head pub in ADHDville, where we sit at the back and have a drink. And I'm having a mango smoothie currently. And we are going to jump into the tractor and we are going to go to, where are we going to go? We're going to go to, no, we're not. We are not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here in the pub.
Okay, we'll stay in the pub. Let's stay in the pub.
You know what? That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. I have a really big iced coffee, so I'm all set. I got my caffeine and iced coffee. I'm good to go. Happy as a clam. Yeah.
Then maybe we start off.
How happy are clams?
I don't know.
American
well, you know
clams
what? They get to live at the
happy.
beach. They get to live at the beach. So I mean,
I'm
sure they're happy until somebody digs them up. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. American clams are the happiest in the world. It is a well-known fact.
It is documented in research.
It's documented.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
Thank you, Martin. I'm having my back. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Look them up.
I am American.
Look up clams on Wikipedia. They're just like smiling back, and you know,
and sort of waving.
It's amazing where these things come from. Like who thought of that one first? You know, happy as a
clam. I know. All right. Well, maybe we start off by introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah. So I feel like I need to do the sort of diagnosed, although I won't be as creative as you guys. I love the poo-poo platter, Martin. I was diagnosed with poo-poo platter. I was diagnosed with ADHD with a side of anxious depression about 3 years ago. So I'm relatively new to the official diagnosis of ADHD, but my brother actually was diagnosed with ADHD. He's 19 months older than I am, and I've been around for a while. I'm 51. So he was diagnosed back in the 80s with ADHD, and he had combination hyperactivity, probably more predominant. So I have many years of experience with ADHD. But in terms of like knowing my own ADHD, I only have a few years of like really understanding that. And I've been spending a lot of time the last 3 years really going back and discovering who I am. Because when I was growing up, was the normal one. There was like my brother who was the problem, and I was the normal one. And I had to always be not a problem for anybody and accomplishing things. And that I got put in that box early, and I stayed in that box my whole life. And then I realized I didn't know who I was because I just was a box called everything's perfect, everything's fine, and I'm going to make everybody happy around me. So the last 2 years, I've really gone on a journey to say, who am I? And I'm a badass. That's what I am.
Come on.
Right. Come on.
USA.
I love that, though.
I'm a badass with ADHD who wants to be a bestie and a safe place for everybody because there's a shit ton of people like me. Oh, I should have asked if it's okay if I curse on this website. On this.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I can't. I have trouble not cursing. But Martin, I think you know that from my TikToks. But I really wanted to create a safe space because there's so many people like myself who have felt shame and alone for so long, and it felt like it was them. They were the problem. They were stupid. They were, not trying hard enough, all those things. And now that I've had this epiphany and I understand more about how my brain is wired, I want to create that safe community and space for those people to be able to come and feel loved and supported and not judged. I also feel pretty strongly now about girls getting diagnosed early. So like I have 2 daughters and I made sure that they got evaluated. My son got evaluated in 2nd grade, by the way, because he was hyperactive. Nobody clocked my girls.
Yeah.
Shocker. Because they were
classic,
the
isn't
ADD.
it? That's a classic. It was like distracted by the one that was shouting the loudest, literally, maybe.
Well, yeah, and disrupting
getting all the
class.
attention. And then the girls, that show it in a different way.
They kind of, they worked their way through it. And everybody's like, oh, they don't have trouble in school. Like, I don't think they need anything. And I'm like, no, actually, they do need things. And here's the kinds of things that they need. So there's 2 things I feel really passionately about. And one of them is like helping more girls get diagnosed early and sort of save them the pain in the life that I had and give them a better life. But then also for the people who are in the life stage I'm in, how do I give them a safe space and support because they feel very alone, a lot of them.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because you popped up on TikTok. Actually, how long have you been on TikTok? It seems like you just kind of arrived and exploded.
Well, I started playing around with TikTok back in March, so not that long. I started playing around with it back in March, and honestly, that for me was me playing around with, I call it journey to joy, because part of this whole thing for me has been like understanding who I am and what brings me joy and what makes me tick. I know how everybody else ticks. I didn't know how I ticked anything about myself. And so Journey to Joy was where I started. And then I was like, you know what? There's this really cool thing. ChatGPT can revolutionize my life, everybody's life with ADHD and executive function issues. I want to bring that to the ADHD community. So I started talking about ChatGPT. And then, honestly, I just started sharing my shame. It's like, I actually did. I still remember the TikTok I did. I had cleaned out my refrigerator and I had an entire garbage bag full of food. I walked it out to the garbage can and I sat down on my porch and I was just beating the crap out of myself and just sitting there like, why do you keep doing this? Like, this is so embarrassing. And then I was like, I need to tell someone. And then I was like, I'm going to tell my friends, And then all these people were like, me too. And the messy house and the this. And so now we've got We Do Not Care Club Neurodivergent edition. So that's kind of the latest one that has been really getting some traction, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
that's really liberating, isn't it?
Good...
Getting rid of the shame is so liberating.
It really,
taking up
when you
energy
name it,
like in your head with like, in my case, Paul, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why? And then just like letting that go is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you can focus on how to make it better for the future if you're not beating yourself up about the past as much. So that's what I've seen is the shame would paralyze me, and I would be stuck in that you suck place, and that you suck place really sucks. And then it would just be a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, I do suck, and I'm going to stay in that place, and it's going to just be really bad. Versus,
that thing they say that by the time we're, reached adolescence, we've heard 20,000 more messages of negativity. I think a lot of that is from ourselves to ourselves. There's 20,000 messages.
I heard something this morning. I was listening to a podcast about women with ADHD from understood.org. And this doctor was talking about shame, where shame comes from. And she said one of the places shame comes from is when you beat yourself up because you do the same thing over and over again, even though you promised yourself you wouldn't do that again. So like you miss a friend's birthday and you've missed it multiple times. And you've always said to yourself, I'm never going to miss this again. And you miss it again. And that missing it again part is where you're like, oh, I'm awful. Like I let myself down, I let them down. That just horrible feeling in your chest.
Yeah. And then all the overthinking. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but for years, I was overthinking, why do I do that? Why? And everything is it because of this? And is it because of that? And then you get to, like, in my case, 56 and you're diagnosed with ADHD. It's like, oh, holy crap. You know, all of that thinking was completely useless, you know.
Absolutely. I think for me, what's interesting is I had a hint that I had ADHD for years.
Okay.
Like I kind of, because my brother had it. And then I just started thinking maybe I had it. But to me, what it was simply the time management issue and the sloppiness. So in my head, I was like, it's time management and sloppiness, but I didn't understand why. And I would just be like, it doesn't matter. You have to hide it, especially as a woman. Like you can't keep your house clean. Like that's pretty bad. You know?
Yeah.
And so I thought about it, but I didn't understand it. And now it's like, oh, rejection sensitivity dysphoria. That's why everything feels like a literal personal attack. And I overthink. Like, Paul, what I do in overthinking is if somebody says something to me that's negative, I will work that for like the next month. Like,
me too.
Seriously. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Right. But for me, if there's like a disagreement or problems at work, I will overthink that shit until it's, you know, and God, that's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than me, you know. It's like you think, okay, you stop yourself, you go down a tunnel of, you know, like stupid thoughts, overthinking, and then you stop yourself at some point. Then, okay, I recognize that I've gone down a tunnel that I don't want to go down. It's useless and it's wasting energy. And you stop yourself, and then 10 seconds later, you're going down that same tunnel again. And you think, what the hell?
I think that's fair. And I've actually gotten really good at compartmentalizing. So I think that's within masking. I have two really strong coping mechanisms. One is compartmentalizing and the other is disassociating. And I didn't understand what disassociating was until literally like 2 years ago. But like I can compartmentalize and just put it in a box, Paul, and I just lock it over there. And I deliberately forget about it. Like it's almost like I leverage my mind to its advantage, but then I completely forget about it. Like, I lost something really, really important and I need to go fix it. I will put it in that lockbox over there and put it in a corner. And I have this feeling in my stomach of like, there's something really bad going on, but I don't know what it is. And I can't solve it because it's over in the corner. And if I open it up, I'm going to feel really awful.
Sounds like my accounts. Sounds like my accounting practicing. My best practice for accounting is pretty much you just described it perfectly. Throw away the key, forget about it. But the knot in my stomach is always there somehow.
Yeah,
you know, reminding me.
The knot in my stomach is always there. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't realize I had a permanent knot in my stomach for my entire life, and I actually didn't realize that until I started taking anxiety medication a couple of years ago. Maybe it was like a year ago, because it was one of the last things I did to tweak my medication. And I started taking it and I was like, holy shit, people feel normally like their chest isn't tight and they don't have a knot in their stomach 24/7. Like, this is how normal people live. Like, no wonder you guys are getting shit done because you're not sitting here like in a panic, fight, or flight mode 24/7. So it's just been, I don't know, it's been an interesting journey. I realized, Martin, that you asked me about myself, and I obviously just went on a bit of a roller coaster, but hey, that's what we're doing.
That's what you're here for.
That's what I'm here for. Buckle up, right? We're on a roller coaster. Buckle up.
So I'm interested in sorry, Martin, go on. Go on.
Excellent. There's a little silence I can wedge myself in.
I knew you were trying to get in. I was aware of it. I was just playing with you.
I was like, hang on. Paul's
in.
like, Paul is in a one-on-one interview here.
Yeah. No. Get your wedge in.
We will be more mindful. Martin.
Wait. Oh, no. You, as a guest, you can chat all you like.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Okay. So, Martin, what's your question? Pretending to be interested.
My question is
check your notes.
You have done a very good job on TikTok. See, the thing, but I'm just going back to the fucking TikTok thing, is that you've done a very good job of being community minded, and you do the thing of like, you'll comment on, you know, someone will comment on your post and then you'll go back and then you'll re-comment, and you're very good at doing kind of pulling in people, I notice, into a little thing. And you mentioned briefly that you have a what was the club called, or the group, your little TikTok?
Well, I call it ADHD Besties.
Right, and then you have.
And I refer to everybody as a bestie. Everybody's a bestie.
And then I saw a TikTok where you had like loads of papers almost like this up. Right, meeting agenda.
Oh, that one. Yeah. So. That one. So are you guys familiar with the We Do Not Care Club? The phenomenon that is the We Do Not Care Club?
No.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So there's a woman, Just Being Melanie, who founded this phenomenon called the We Do Not Care Club. And it's a club for menopausal and perimenopausal women who are going through that stage of their life, and they are just sick of it. And so she started, and she would always have a notebook, and she would go, and she had like 4 pairs of glasses on. She had like a neck pillow, like her curlers were in her hair, like she looked like a hot mess. And that was the purpose, was just to be like, I don't care how I look. You all can like fuck yourselves. And that basically, like, her whole thing was doing that about this age and where we are. And it exploded across TikTok. So as I was posting some of my sort of sharing my shame places, somebody said, sounds like you could use a visit from the We Do Not Care Club. So that's why part of what I do is I joke about, we're the neurodivergent chapter of We Do Not Care Club, and we hold grace and space for our poor overperforming people pleasers, because it's really hard for us not to care. So we're working on that. It's almost like this is the chapter that is trying harder because it's harder for us not to care. But then I started pulling she has like little sayings that she'll say, like, we do not care, blah, blah, blah. So like an example that I did, and the one I just did this week, was I said, we don't care what time the party is supposed to be over. When my social battery runs out, I do too. And if you want to come, great. Otherwise, I'm going to be in the car. Right. And that's like an example of something we don't care about. Or like, I've got something in the middle of my sink, and if you move it, I'm going to lose it. Like, I don't care.
Right.
So people really love that.
Yeah. No, you're by the way, Paul, Tina's, I'm going to say this to the side, Tina's followers, she's getting way more faster than we are. I'm just saying, Paul.
Right.
I see her following count going really high, and ours is like
Martin's tracking my follower count.
Static.
Hers is going a lot quicker.
Static.
I'm just anyway. Back to the interview.
Yeah. Well, that segues into a question I have. It's like 90 They say 95% of the people that listen or watch podcasts, ADHD podcasts in the UK, are women. So have you got any insights? Like, what the hell is going on? Where
I think we've all hit the I do not give a fuck part of our lives, and and at the same time being diagnosed with ADHD, or like a lot of people are being diagnosed with ADHD, autism, like a variety of different neurodivergencies. We're all like, we're hitting the point in our lives where we are confident enough to say, I deserve better, right? And we're learning things about ourselves that are sort of a means to an end, to a degree, of like, Jesus, we're all like, angry.
Yeah,
We're angry normally. So like the hormones are causing us to be just angry normally. But then when you discover that, you know, people have known about women and ADHD since the 90s and they didn't do anything about it. And now all of a sudden people are doing stuff about it because of stuff like TikTok. I think women, it's like it brings something up in them because we all feel such shame for how we have been our whole lives. And that deep, deep shame when we find other people who are like us, who aren't alone, like the idea of not being alone, that's the videos that have done the best for me are the ones that, well, the We Do Not Care Club is its own sort of phenomenon. And Martin, if I was to actually be honest, like that's really why my follower account's going up. But like, bless We Do Not Care Club, thank you. But the idea of what people are responding to is you're not alone. You know, it's not something that's wrong with you. We're here to support you. Like that idea, I think there's really something interesting there, and I want to do more with it.
So from that, I guess you're saying that that massive imbalance between female and male people watching YouTube and, you know, these kind of watching to podcasts is that explosion of I'm fucking here too from a women's part, you know, the unseen, you know, reversing the trend.
Well, and I think the other piece they talk about really interesting about women with ADHD is executive functioning is obviously like a big thing with ADHD, and it is the sort of the cornerstone of what you expect from women in culture. You expect women to be the project managers. You expect women to be on top of the logistics. You expect women to be able to manage your whole entire household and work and do X, Y, Z. How can she do it? You know, that's like a neurotypical person. How the fuck can she do it? We're over here going, oh my God. You know, like it's not just hard, it's impossible. And then we all hit this point of like depression of like, I literally can't fucking do this. So I do things like not invite people over to my house because my house is really messy and I'm really embarrassed to show what my house looks like to other people. So I think women, they have a unique aspect of shame to it that, and being at this age, it's sort of like that combination of deep shame plus this age that is causing the explosion in women. And they're finding each other.
Got it.
That's the other thing that I think is really interesting. When you bring a bunch of neurodivergent, anybody, by the way, together, it's like a great time. But like if you get women who've been misdiagnosed their whole lives into a room together, like I'm dying to do a gathering and just bring some of these women together in a room because I think it would be like a hoot and really awesome.
Can I come too?
Yes, absolutely. You guys can absolutely come. Okay. We don't care. We don't care about your gender.
Oh, okay. That's good.
You know what gender you have, what gender you identify, if you have one or not, we do not care.
Okay.
That's funny.
All are welcome.
I personally identify as the gender Bob Ross.
Okay.
That is a very aspirational and wonderful gender to aspire to. Exactly. I can't aspire because I just know that's not me. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't actually hold that up and say, because that would be like defiling Bob Ross's.
Is that the beard? Is it because of the beard?
Legacy for me? I'm more of a spicy meatball type. I can't. I'm definitely never.
Meatball.
Exactly.
I love it. You know what? There's because you work in marketing, right?
Yes, I technically work in, it's called marketing research, right? So there's the marketing brand management and then there's the marketing research. And marketing research is technically like understanding what makes people tick and understanding what makes businesses tick. So like pattern recognition and looking for those kinds of things and finding those really interesting like ahas has been phenomenal. The other thing is I'm a hyper empath. And so being a hyper empath and being a consumer insights person and being able to like speak the voice of the consumer, like I think I've never realized that was my ADHD. Like I can always put myself into the shoes of the consumer and look at things and speak from the voice of a consumer in a way that's just natural for me. And everybody around me is like, wow, that was so good. And I'm like, that was so easy.
Yeah.
You know, I can't hit your timeline and I can't do a project plan very well. But that's where I get my organized best friend to like work with me to figure out how we get shit done. But like there's things that I have found that I'm fascinated by in corporate America, and it's this like what makes people tick.
Yeah, because I was going to get onto like, because both Paul and I are creative directors, so obviously a creative department, they are all neurodivergent, right? That,
you need that creativity.
Single person in that in that creative department is on the spectrum or ADHD or whatever.
In some way, yes.
In some way. And then you go to the marketing department and they are all, not say all women, but women really, really own that whole thing.
Yeah.
And there is something really interesting when you're talking about how you understand your consumer. You kind of like, you can empathize, you can kind of get into their head.
Yeah.
And that's interesting from a Paul and I, from our creative point of view, is because we have to do the same.
Yeah.
Have to do the same thing. We have to almost, if we make something built on your insights, for example, then you have to forget that you are a creative person and come at it cold and go, well, what is this saying?
If I was a person, how would that strike me? Yeah.
How do I go from this thing to that thing? How do I guide them along the path or tell the story that I want to tell? So it's like, I'm always interested as to, actually, I will ask the same question that Paul asked. Why is it that women run the marketing world? I mean, is it that? I mean, is it that they are also?
You know, I don't know that I mean, I can make a hypothesis. I think my hypothesis would be that I think women generally are more empathetic by nature and are more interested in that kind of thing. Like that would be the thing I would say. Whereas men just in general tend to be a little more whatever the opposite brain is. You know, like it's the way that our culture has sort of stereotyped us and put us into the right buckets. Like girls can be creative. Absolutely. Boys, you should be more STEM. You know, like that's like they should be, and not should, they're trying to change that. But like historically be like boys do math, girls do coloring. You know, and so like marketing is sort of like an extension of creativity, because you have to be creative and analytical to really do marketing. And so I think because of that, that's why you have a lot of people doing it, especially now, because they were creative. Yeah. Like for me, I am a very creative person, but I'm not creative enough to be an art director. But I love working with advertising agencies. Love it. Probably because they're my people. You know, they're my besties.
Yeah. Right.
That's my favorite thing about my job is when I get to work with advertising agencies, because it's like I just feel really at home there. But
I wonder sometimes if our ability, our sensitivity, you know, in a positive way to in doing those kind of professional roles is in a large part because of us having to be hyper vigilant. You know.
Yeah.
Like you're just good at reading people, good at reading the room because you had to be, because you were looking out for signs of danger. Like, am I going, like on a simple level, am I going to fit into this situation?
100%. And I have to study every situation.
Yeah.
To me, like what masking is it's a combination of like empathy and acting. Because you have to really understand immediately everybody in the room, and you have to constantly, to your point, be watching everybody. So I take my fascination with people and I absolutely apply it to every one of my stakeholders that I work with.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me a great partner also, because I know what makes them tick. I know how to, and I feel like sometimes it's a little manipulative, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be manipulative. I'm just trying to give you what you want. I know what you want. You're a data person. You're a visual person. You need shit to be really simple. Like,
you just got a big fucking advantage.
So that's how I influence my stakeholders.
They shouldn't feel bad. You just got a big fucking advantage Just live
I
with
mean,
that.
well, and that's my advantage, right? My advantage is that. My disadvantage is I forget to send the email.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know what I should be saying in the email, but I
Yeah.
fucking forget to send the email, and then like I've lost, so that's what I think could be fascinating, guys. In this, I've had a couple conversations with people recently about this. Is if we could figure out how to take the creative brain of someone like me, like I'm very creative. And if you could have somebody who's an amazing executor be like my partner in crime the whole way through my career. And I'm not saying the whole way through my career, but like as you look at how you pull teams together, I've done my best work when I've had that organized best friend. And when I've had that organized best friend, we have done phenomenal shit together.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't think we as a society, culture, business orientation think about the combination of people. They try to make the person be, you have to be both creative and productive and efficient.
Finding that
and so
person
you're going to land on efficient if you don't do, because you can track and measure if you miss deadlines a whole lot easier than your shit's not creative, So you end up with like a lot of people who are shit for creative project managers who come up with really shit ideas for whatever it is that they're working on.
Yeah. Yeah. The trouble is, the problem
Of course,
is
not in my
finding
company,
that
because everybody in
person.
my company is fantastic. Let's just leave that. Yeah.
Okay. I found the problem is finding the right person. You need a huge element of luck, fortune, finding the right person to partner with.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
ad
not
agencies
easy.
I bet that's harder.
Are always split into two lumps, right? You get the creative side, and then you get the account side, and they're the ones that, you know what? It's like the creative people are all completely neurodivergent, and then the account side, they are somehow either neurodivergent that have learned how to be really organized. You know, like how you can have someone who has ADHD that has somehow gone, you know what, I have to
hunker
be
down and get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you get those people over there, and that's how ad agencies work. You get the kind of chaos on one side and the organized.
What's interesting, Martin, I would say what I found the most fascinating as I've worked with different agencies is the strategy group. If you have a strategic planner, they to me are the magic sauce, because they can speak.
Gods. They are little gods in the ad agency.
They can speak creative, but then they can also speak account.
They're special. Everyone wants to be that person.
That's what I want. I was like, if I go to an ad agency, that's what I want to do. I want to speak. I want to speak those languages because I feel like I could speak those languages and empathize with both groups. So someday, maybe that'll be my next thing. You guys can help me do that.
There we go. Like you talk about you brushed over it briefly. I don't want to talk about guys because Paul and I are guys, and we're just so that's why you're here to kind of like enlighten us.
Yes.
So women late diagnosed, they hit that
perimenopause. You got it.
Firstly, I want to say I have all my life I'd never heard of perimenopause. My wife had never heard of perimenopause either. And then she hits this kind of weird brain foggy.
Yep.
Like half my brain has gone missing. Don't know what's going on. And then she finds out, and then she has to tell me. And I'm like, this is such a big thing. Why don't we all know it? Why don't we all know that this event is going to hit a couple in the traditional sense?
It's fascinating to me. Well, there's two things that are fascinating, and I do have to watch the time, guys, because I am going to have to go do a meeting at 1. So I probably have like 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to. Okay. I'm going to have to kick myself out. So do you want me to answer that question? Because I can.
No.
Okay. I think we need to. I could talk for 45 minutes about that one, Martin. And the relationship, by the way, of hormones and ADHD and how women hit menopause and they're more likely to have ADHD.
Let's call that part 2.
We could do a part 2. Yeah.
You will have to come back.
I would be happy to come back anytime.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll get that booked in because an hour wasn't long enough for us. Oh, actually, technical issues. Anyway,
by the way, I would.
Thanks a lot
part
for coming on, Tina. We will put your TikTok account in the show notes.
Awesome.
So thanks.
Your ADHD bestie. That's me.
Okay. Exactly.
Fantastic. Cool. But yeah, it sounds like we definitely need to do a part 2. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Let's do part 2.
Yes,
all right.
Let's do a part 2. And actually, guys, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I literally had this idea as I was driving into work this morning. I started doing lives. I was scared shitless to do lives, and I did one this weekend, like body doubling, where I was writing an email and people were paying bills and doing laundry and stuff, and it was great. But I thought, what if I did a live where I had guests come on like you guys or other people who are kind of in this community? How would you guys feel about doing a live with me at some point?
We'd love to. We'd love to.
Because, by the way, I love the idea of doing a podcast, but I don't have the executive functioning to do that in addition to my job, in addition to my TikTok. But I was like, shit, I could do a live, and I don't have to do any of the other stuff. I can just go on and you can invite people into your live. So it's multiple people. So I just thought about that one this morning. And if you guys ever want to do a live and you want to invite me, that's cool too. I can do that.
We're definitely up for that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. It was absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to coming back to the ADHDville. Maybe next time we go to an ice cream shop.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
Nice.
It's just us
Lovely.
two now.
Just us two. Us chickens.
Just
okay,
us
cool.
Chickens. Well, that was nice, wasn't it?
That was great. Fabulous. What a lovely lady.
What a lovely, lovely lady.
Part 2 definitely though. Part 2 is definitely on. We should do that. Okay.
All right. Well, do you want to? All right. So where are we? 35, 37 minutes. Okay. So this is probably about the point where we should tell people what we're going to be doing next week.
Our next episode is ADHD and hospitals.
That's right. Hospitals. Fun,
interesting
places.
Spaces. Interesting spaces. Yeah, we were just saying before we came on recording, the kind of it wrote itself. It's an easy one, really interesting. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you've got any thoughts on hospitals, get in the comments and write it all out. As this was a guest episode, we couldn't get to Alexandra's pub.
Postbag.
Still being built. But we will get back to it next week.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to hit that little outro button and say that ADHD is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most magnificent, and feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, then sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikToks. And you can also pick up a quill and email us at ADHDville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDers, fare thee well with gladness of heart.
Aye.
There, says the mayor. That's that.